And the first resolution this evening is 2014-6 city officers appointment. And the appointments that I've put forth to the council is city attorney Katie Cheney, municipal court judge Bonnie Wilson, health officer Dr. Chris Morozes, official newspaper Boyd Call, city engineer Stuart Porter, cemetery endowment board Jim Bell, Aaron Lampert, and Phil Roberts, library board Joyce McKinney and Lorraine Ginsby, and planning commission Kathy Roberts. I entertain a motion to pass this with its entirety.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Councilman Brown, seconded by Councilman Richards. Any discussion? No discussions. Mandy, would you take a roll call vote, please?
Richard,
Yes.
Gingler,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Luttrell,
Yes.
Abel,
Yes.
Brown,
Yep.
Audi,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is Resolution 2014-7, and this resolution directs the owner of property located at 402 South Mill to either repair or remove the structures located on this property. The information is in the packet. Any discussion?
Chris, has he been contacted?
He has.
And
He called me, and he intends to get to it. He's known for a long time, and he is intended for a long time to do something with that building. And he intends to follow through with that. Of course, it's hitting him kind of at a bad time. We got fall harvest coming up into June or July, and then right behind that will be summer harvest, then fall harvest right behind that, so. But he thinks he can get to it, so,
So he's gonna tear it down?
yes.
Matt?
Is he an applicant for the housing?
I couldn't tell you, I don't know.
He hasn't so far, no, but he could be.
I move we pass resolution 14-7.
Motion's been made by Councilman Richards that we pass resolution 2014-7. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilperson Abel. Any further discussion? No further discussion? Mandy, could you take a roll call vote, please?
Abel,
Yes?
Richard,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Luttrell,
Yes.
Brown,
Yep.
Gingler,
Yes.
Audi,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Thank you. We'll move now to formal actions. And the first item on the agenda is the special event license request by Solomon Valley Raceway. The race schedule is attached. This is something we approved.
I so move.
It's been moved by Councilman Peterson that we approve the special event license request for Solomon Valley Raceway. It was seconded by Councilman Brown. Any further discussion? No further discussion. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Next item is the concrete pipe bid, and it's recommended that we accept the bid from Old Castle Precast in the amount of $36,080.56. Any questions for staff?
Where are they from? Oh, Topeka. Okay.
This is for the North Campus.
To my understanding, yes.
Yeah, that's her.
Have you got the
Yeah.
motion?
No,
So moved.
okay. It's been moved by Councilman Audi that we accept the bid from Castle Precast for $36,050.56. Do I have a second?
So moved.
Seconded by Councilman Peterson. Any further discussion?
This is the Labrador doorstep, is that it?
Yes.
Okay. Very good.
No further discussion, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the, another bid from Old Castle Precast for $16,265 for the storm sewer inlet bids. And again, I'm sure this is for the North Campus. Any comments? Questions?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Audie that we accept the bid from Old Castle Precast for $16,265. It was seconded by Councilman Miller. Is there any further discussion? No further discussion. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the transformer bid. And it's my understanding that Chris Davis's bid did not
Meet the specs.
did not meet the specs.
Right.
And so we'll need to take the Wesco bid for $10,717. And in my conversations with Ronnie, he asked them to rebid it to specs, and then they sent the same bid back again. So they had an opportunity. So we'll need to take the Wesco bid because it does meet the specifications for our need.
What we did, we bid that twice. 2 weeks ago, we sent out a bid, and neither one of them met the specs. And so we redid it, and Westville came out and met the bid, but Chris Davis, they just sent their bid that they submitted 2 weeks prior to that.
Entertain a motion to accept the Wesco bid for $10,717. Then moved by Councilman Richards that we accept the Wesco bid. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Luttrell. Is there any further discussion? No further discussion. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the bid from Bounce Insurance for the city's liability insurance or total insurance package for $307,072. Discussion.
My question is the number that's on this item on the agenda supposed to match the amount of premium we're paying?
It is for the largest one.
Because the appropriation ordinance totals $310,094.
Well, approximately, I believe it's 1,800 is the insurance for the buildings at the airport, and then the other ones is the new police vehicles.
And he didn't put those on his invoice?
I just kind of figured they were routine, so that's probably my fault. I just figured they were routine, but the 307 was the total annual.
In the 4 years I've been on council, we have never put this out for bid, and I know the county put it out for bid, and they found some savings, and largely for that reason, I'm hesitant about just doing this another year. I'd like to see this go out for bid.
When are these due? Like now?
Yeah,
Actually, they are, but they are prepaid insurance.
Did you put it out for bid?
No, Files Insurance basically is a broker, so they actually do that part of it for you, I mean, as far as finding the best insurance for whatever. So, I mean, that's Files Insurance role, actually, is to act as that broker for the city. There are other brokers you could go to that would then do the same type of thing. I'm not sure what the county has, but I know they did that, I think, previous year. They went with a different broker is what they do.
But for us, it's a little bit too late in the game for us to be doing that, I'm assuming.
Well, yeah, there's the renewal is coming up here this month.
So we really do need to pass this then at this time. Is it something then for next year, we can get bids before it comes due?
If that's what that's after the council wants to do, yeah, you could search, if you're searching out other brokers or other type of insurance, like, we've talked to Larry about different, and have had different, bids on like power plant, which is a big part of your insurance. We had 2 years ago, somebody come up and give us a bid on, I don't know if they bid this year at all. Sometimes a little hard to find insurance that will take on some of the property that we have, and it really does that. There's only certain companies that are the so-called big players in the market, and the workman's comp, and then some of the property that we have, because it's not quote-unquote normal type of property.
Can we just kind of make it a process though for next year that we do put it out there?
Sure.
And see what is out there, so we,
Right.
whether it's another, same insurance for another broker or.
Well, I think that's a decision we have to make. Do you want to stay with Fouts Insurance as far as that goes, or do you want to go with a completely separate broker, which I think is what the county did?
I'm not saying for the record that I think Fouts is the worst deal out there. I just would like to see a competitive process where we can know for a fact, based on what's coming in, how good a deal or not good a deal we get.
Sure.
And like I said, the 4 years I've been here, we haven't talked about doing it, but
I know when I was just city clerk, we looked around for other agencies, and Fouts was always under,
The most competitive.
yeah, most competitive. And like they said, City Administrator Rodney said, it's hard to find companies that will insure like the power plant and things like that. 'Cause there's a lot of money sitting out there.
Some might shy away from the police department or certain
Certain
areas
things,
of
yeah.
our
Mhm,
insurance.
yeah.
Well, it's like with Larry doesn't really sell insurance. He's a broker, he finds the best deal for you.
Yeah.
And I've switched to him personally because it's cheaper. Actually, I got some coverage that I couldn't get anywhere else on my store, so.
But our recent history, we know that EMC, even the large companies that will insure municipalities are restricted on what they can even insure.
And I don't care what we do, but I think if we go to a different broker, they're probably gonna check with the same companies that he.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
I move we purchase the insurance from Fouts Insurance LLC. Second.
Motion's been made from Councilman Miller that we purchase the insurance from Fouts Insurance LLC. It was seconded by Councilman Brown. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
Okay. Next item on our agenda this evening is the nuisance abatement on 519 and 523 North Hersey. Chris, you want to address this on this, please?
Over the last year and a half, been working with Mr. Paget to clean up the property, clean up the wood piles and the other materials scattered around the house, in front and behind. He's made several efforts to initiate or to begin the process of cleanup, but has never quite completed the project. So I sent him another notice this last time, and now he has requested a hearing in front of the governing body, so he's here tonight to speak for himself.
Well, how do we proceed with this? Do we go ahead and pass this, or do we hear from from Richard before we move on?
Well, I would have him speak before.
Okay, so that's what
actually
we're, Richard, would you please address the council at this time?
Yes, for
Like Mr. Jones said, he's asked me several times, and I have attempted to start several times. My goal is to get it cleaned up and keep it cleaned up. I had a couple operations, and that's kind of slowed me down. But, to my knowledge, I'm not gonna be having any more, except to be my knees. I won't wait till fall for that. I can, start cleaning up and keep them cleaning up now. And I just appreciate your patience, and I'll definitely get on that and do the best I can, as much as I can, as often as I can.
Okay. Any questions?
I got one question. I noticed you use the ramp for wheelchairs, the sidewalk for a driveway. And that there really isn't a driveway entry. That cement's not that thick. And as you drive over it in time, it's gonna ruin that, and then we're gonna have to replace it. That's what it costs. Just
Have you seen that sidewalk?
Huh?
Have you seen this? The ramp's really good,
Yeah, I know.
but the sidewalk is really tore up.
Well,
It's not from.
as you go through your process here, I have asked, since I've been on the council, a few times about a $10,000 deal for cement, so the city can provide the cement, if you provide the labor and stuff to tear out the old sidewalk and put a new in.
I would provide the cement if they could provide the labor. Is that possible?
Our policy is a cement,
Okay. Okay.
but we haven't got
Sure.
that grant yet, because, yeah, when I asked for it, they said it had to be in the budget, and I don't know if they ever got the budget or not. I guess we have to ask Lynn that.
Not this current year. Not this current year, we don't have that.
Richard, what time frame are you looking at to get this cleaned up?
Gosh.
I mean, if you could give us a date,
Yeah, I can't do that, but
I mean, the longer.
I'm hoping by August. See, I've got, I've got one in Tipton, I just have a few days, and I think South Street will just take a few weeks. And then the one on Mill, that's the one I want to start, that's the one I wanted to do last fall. That's gonna take a couple months, so, August? I think August I'll have them, and then I can start on, the one on Hersey round. Definitely by September I can start. Oh, I don't want, Carol has paid people to scrape that on, 519 Hersey so she could paint it, but I know in 2 or 3 years we'd be painting it again. I want to put siding on it, and I can do that this fall.
You have several properties that are
Yes.
in this type of shape.
Well, close, yeah. But they're the ones I want to do first, because they're the ones I like to rank.
Well, that one on Hersey, that's very dangerous.
How's that? I've never heard
That
of
roof,
On Hersey?
or, I mean, on Mill, is that yours?
That's why I have the things under it. And last fall when I started, I put the corner in the southwest corner so I could put a 6x6 beam on there to hold that roof up. And that's when I noticed, the wood up there wouldn't uphold a beam, so I put the bracing on it there, and I had to wait to pour this, now I have to pour about 7 foot of the porch. I tore the wood porch off, and I'll put a cement porch on there. And, so I have to pour the cement porch so I can get staff length to work on the ceiling to put the braces up there.
Well,
That's one thing.
It's been there for quite a while in that
Yes, but
situation, and it's very dangerous due to the fact, had a corner from that's a church, and there's a lot of
Yes.
kids go around there.
Well, I have no trespassing signs up, and all my materials way up about 15 foot from the sidewalk.
Yeah, trespassing signs will do no good.
Any other questions for Mr. Paget?
You actually own the house on Mill, or does Carol?
Carol.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for addressing the council.
Thank you.
Okay, we kind of heard what his time frame is, and I entertain a motion that we approve the nuisance abatement on 5/19 and 23 North Percy.
So moved.
Been moved by Councilman Richard that we approve the nuisance abatement on 5/19 and 5/23 North Percy. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Miller. Any further discussion? No further discussion. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
No,
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the nuisance on 414 North Mill.
Is that correct address?
Chris, is that the,
No, it isn't. It's
what is the correct address?
I think it's 400 or.
400,
Yeah, I think it's 400.
The nuisance abatement on 400 North Mill. Any questions? Comments? No questions or comments. I entertain a motion that we approve the nuisance abatement on 400 North Mill.
So moved.
Then moved by Councilman Miller that we move ahead with the nuisance abatement at 400 North Mill, second by Councilman Richards. Any further comment? No further comment. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. We have no closed session this evening. Entertain a motion to adjourn this. Excuse me, a second. Lloyd.
Where did we put in the thing for,
Oh, yeah.
part of the appropriation orders we pulled out?
Oh.
Oh, I
For the
thought we,
insurance.
Back to the,
I thought we approved that when we approved the foul. For the, excuse me, for the payment to the insurance. I guess I'm lost at the moment, Lloyd. What-
It was in the consent agenda, we pulled it on consent agenda.
To approve
To
that.
approve paying.
Yeah, they have the checks written already, and they're gonna sign them and send them off
Okay,
tomorrow.
before we adjourn, we need to approve the payment of the, in the consent agenda for the payment to Fouts Insurance. Do I have a motion to, motion by Councilperson Abel that we approve the motion for, in the consent agenda amended for the payment of Fouts Insurance. Have a second?
So moved.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Carries. Motion to adjourn.
Where did that?
Well, we're back to it.
Okay. fine.
Okay,
You said loud.
So moved.
the motion that we adjourn by Councilman Brown, second by Councilman Richard. Any further discussion? No further discussion. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We're adjourned.
It's a second.
On the work session, and I think Katie wanted to,
Actually, Glenn covered everything earlier, so.
okay. Well, you can't leave people like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess you were probably talking about the screenshot. I did have one last thing. though.
Yeah, that's one. I was coming to you.
Okay, all right. In your packet, I included kind of a response to a request from the last meeting. We had a little discussion of rural rates and for our electric customers on the council. So what I did, we just had our staff put together, this is based on the revenue, total revenue, and we're working with round numbers, and just go to the little half page. Total revenue for our rural customers is around $1 million, as it turns out, at 2013 numbers. Through an increase of the 10% that we were talking about for the last meeting, of course, that's gonna bring in about another $100,000. And you can see what, and these are the customers that we have on the rural rates. So the caution is, that's just based off revenue. That's not a rate increase of 10%. That's just like total revenue. Of course, we don't bill like that. We bill on a per kilowatt usage, and there's of course PCAs and all the other things that go in with that. But this is just taking the total revenue, 10%, and adding that together. Very simple. So it's,
How many actual customers do we have outside the city?
I don't know.
That pay $1
Yeah,
million?
that's, well, the bulk of that comes really from the customer. It really does, yeah, and then the rest of our residential, some commercial, but yeah, probably 70% or whatever, 75% is from one customer. So that's what you're really looking at.
Do we have any idea what our competitor's rate would be for that same service? Rural electric?
Yes, yeah, actually, Ronnie Sport Leader is putting together a list, which we'll probably have for the next meeting, that shows other rural co-ops and other cities of our size around us in north central Kansas, and we'll show you what that looks like, what our rates break down and how they compare and stuff like that. So, yeah, this isn't covering that, this is just, we're gonna increase it by 10%. But yeah, we can show you what our rates do, how they compare with other systems. Water, we charge the same, as I'm finding out, we charge the same inside and outside the city. There's no difference between a rural customer and a city customer as far as that goes. As far as charging.
When I was cleared,
Yeah.
there was a difference.
Yeah, I was,
And the rural water district
yeah,
was different.
Yeah.
And I was surprised to look at the I mean,
yeah,
and somehow that has got to have gotten dropped.
yeah. See, I've never seen that before. You always
Yeah.
see something different outside the city when it's for all
Yeah.
your utilities.
Well, it's something we definitely need to address, because
Absolutely.
it's not fair for people living in town to
Right.
be subsidizing
Yeah,
that.
it's just, that's new to me, so. So we need to look at that too, but the question was about the electric as far as rural versus city.
So a 75 kind of percent, that would mean that the one customer pays about $750,000 for electric.
I believe so.
If that customer should want to buy their power from somewhere else, they can have it. I mean, legally, you have to transmit the power to them through your system, correct?
A lot of things would have to happen before you got there. You'd have, of course, take them out of your territory, because as you know, Kansas is carved up into electric territory, so, you know, there would have to be negotiations there, so, yeah, you'd have to get it there eventually.
So a person putting up a windmill doesn't have to do that then, because they're getting their power from somewhere else,
That'd be
and they're in your
correct, yeah.
territory.
Correct, yeah, and if they had solar or any other types of a power plant or whatever, yeah, they don't have to, I mean, they can do that right now, and we do have one customer, of course, who does have a windmill, whatever, but no, they wouldn't have, they're already in your territory, whatever, so there wouldn't be any negotiation for bringing them in or outside the territory at that point.
And are they on a meter where we have to pay if they produce a surplus?
The one out there, yeah, I believe that's, so if they do.
So we actually could pay
Net
them.
metering on them, yeah. And anybody can do that, yeah. and we can do
Speaking of that windmill, and I know they're not in the city, but I know that windmills are prohibited in the city of Beloit. So what if we annex that place?
You have to rewrite ordinances or whatever to make that work at that point.
So I appreciate you doing this, and I want to commend Ronnie for going to all the work that's going to get us some more.
Yeah, we'll see how you compare with, yeah.
Different topic. Since the 2 weeks ago when we approved the new job position, have we had any?
Couple of applicants, so probably talking about the combination there, part of the public works, I've got a couple applicants so far, that's it.
And when does that close?
25th. Yeah, 20th is the last Friday of the month. Okay.
It's just a 10% increase on the rates, or?
No, that was just taking the total revenue.
Just total
Yeah,
revenue.
the ways, you know, the rates are a little more complicated than that, but just to give you a sort of a ballpark figure of what it would be, if you just increase your rates or your revenue to get to that point somehow. That was the question for the last meeting. And oddly enough, it comes out to, you know, 2013, almost $1 million, so it's more round numbers to make it a little easier. Yeah, so, a nice coincidence.
So the added revenue is actually 100,000.
It'd be about, yeah, it would be 100,000 a year, just 10% of that million add on to that. If we were to go that route, I'm not sure if we're ready to go there yet or somewhere else. But just kind of gives you an idea. So we'll discuss more rates as we go forward. That's something we need to do every year, of course.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's it on that.
Anything else, Glenn?
Nope.
Okay. The next item is a discussion item on Sturgis Street. Bob, do you have some comments?
Well, you know, I've been pushing for this for a few years, and I think there's enough support here to do it. It needs to be done. And The reason I wanted to get it on here so that we can maybe get it slated, get it approved if we have enough support, and get it on the schedule for work through.
Man?
Have you received a petition from the people in the service asking for this?
No, this doesn't require,
Yeah.
this
Every other
is just
street
just
does.
milling.
Is it- this is the asphalt.
You got out there.
So we're gonna make it like Fort Street, like past Crohn's, like that's a main street. We're gonna
So
make it
it's
like that.
Quarter.
popular up by my place, and that's lasted a long time.
And it's been, tossed around, it won't work, blah, blah, blah. When you drive up by the cemetery, that street's one of the best streets we got in this town, it's done with milling.
Is there a lot of truck traffic on the street?
There is, Abrams running this big old concrete truck down there from time